UTSA Roadrunner Battalion, and today we're going to be going over how to properly pack your rucksack. So the first thing that we want to make sure is that it is assembled correctly so it doesn't fall apart on you. So if you want further instructions on that, you can always look towards TM 10-8465-236-10, which covers the whole MOLLE system. The second thing you want to make sure before you even pack the ruck is that it is accustomed or arranged for your body. So we all have different types of body types. So you want to make sure that your kidney pouch and that your straps are adjusted so that they suit your particular body type. Now let's go over some other things that you want to make sure of when you're before you even start packing your ruck. So some things to keep in mind are, first off, you'll receive a packing list from whatever school or your command and what they entail. So you want to follow that packing list to the T. Second is you want to make sure that you balance your ruck during packing, so that way there's no shifting of weight from left or right, or it's not too heavy on the bottom or too heavy on the top. Then you want to also make sure that you pack your heaviest items closest to your back, whether it's the stable bottom, which we'll go over, or packing most of your heavy equipment up on top. You also want to bear in mind that when you pack your items, you want to think strategically and think ahead. So all the items that you think that you will be needing sooner, you're going to want to pack towards the top. The things that you won't really touch, you'll be packing towards the bottom. Other things that you should consider are also your poncho should be in your sustainment pouch as well as your wet weather gear. That way they're easily accessible. I like to keep my wet weather gear as well as my poncho and some snacks and whatnot in the sustainment pouch. That way I can just easily go in there and not have to unpack my ruck to get my wet goods. You also want to make sure that you try to roll all of your items because they'll fit a lot better in your ruck. When you roll them and you roll them tight, you can either keep them taped like I did with the wet weather gear, or just simply use the Ranger roll method as we did here with those pants. You also want to make sure that you keep your camelback accessible as well. Most people would store their camelback up on top and maybe on top of their ruck so that it's easily accessible. Just make sure your straw is where it needs to be according to how you carry your rifle. So for me personally, I like to keep my straw on the left side. That way I can carry my weapon system on my right, since I am right-handed, and it won't impede where I put the butt of my rifle. Finally, you want to make sure that you not only test your balance of your ruck before you even go out for a ruck, but you also want to make sure you waterproof some of your items like your undergarments, your shirts, your socks. You want to make sure your straps are taped up as well to give that professional appearance. And also use your kidney belt when you're going for long rucks. It'll actually help you a lot. If you range it properly, it'll rest your weight of your ruck on your hips as opposed to your shoulders. So all that weight will be bearing on your waist as opposed to your shoulder blades. So let's go over how to pack a ruck. So what is a rucksack? This is your rucksack right here. You have your kidney pouch. You have your sustainment pouches on the side, and then your major ruck system right here. So to pack this ruck, you simply want to make sure that the first thing you pack in there are your boots, basically. If your packing list consists of boots, you want that stable base to keep that ruck up. So once you tighten up the straps, it'll maintain the position of your rucksack. So the best way to do that, since the heaviest part of your boots are your soles, you want to make sure your soles are closest to your back. So what I do is I fold them a little and make sure that they're in that rucksack closest to my back. Okay, so next what I want to do is I want to get my big item. So the hardest part is putting in this sleep system. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff this in right now. As you can see, the sleep system is tightened. It's tied down, and I pretty much sat on it to make sure that it's condensed so that it fits in the rucksack. Now, how you arrange it is up to you, but I like to put it right in the middle. That way I can maintain that balance and just kind of slide things on the side. next things are all the little miscellaneous items. So you have your wet weather gear, which I know I'm going to put these in my sustainment pouches. You also have your running shoes. Again, heaviest parts are your soles, so I like to put the feet, or the bottoms of the shoes right in here to basically frame your sleeping bag so it doesn't shift left or right. As so. Now for the rest. Really, for the rest of it, I know I won't use my uniform tops as much. I'll be changing out my shirts and my socks more often, so I want to pack those on the top. All this can just get stuffed in the crevices where I have left some room on the sides. Okay. Next items in question are your wet weather stuff. So as far as my wet weather bottoms and my wet weather top, I know that I won't be using these since I have my poncho, I have my Gore-Tex. So these I can actually just kind of slip right in here, remembering to keep it separated to maintain that balance in your rucksack. Okay, so that's the inside of the ruck. On the top flap, you also have this area. Now this area is mainly for the items that you want to keep protected, but at the same time you don't really get to only if you need to. So I like to keep bug spray and my belt and perhaps my gloves in here as well. That way they're nice and secure in there. Okay, so here I have my t-shirt and my socks Ranger rolled. Undergarments would be rolled in a similar fashion. I've placed them inside of a gallon bag in order to ensure that they stay waterproof. Now, to make sure that they are watertight, what you can do is right when you stuff it in there, just press down as hard as you can and zip it up, and you'll get that waterproofing appearance. And as long as there's no air that's going in there, your gear is safely waterproofed. So as far as these items I would see as changing them out more often than my other items. So I'll place this right on top so I can easily access it during a break on my long ruck march. Once the inside has been completed, we can move on into sustainment pouches. Now, as I stated previously, your sustainment pouches are for those other items that you would want to get to more often than normal. So what I would do is I get my poncho liner, or my poncho, as well as my wet weather or my Gore-Tex, and essentially stuff these on the side. That way, if it rains, you can go ahead and grab those two items, and everything will stay dry. You also might want to carry your Ranger handbook, and an L flashlight is usually on packing lists as well. So for these items, again, I may need those, so I'll stuff those right in the sustainment pouch. Once I've gotten those in the sustainment pouch, just secure it, and I'll show you how to condense everything here in a minute. Okay. Maintaining balance, you also want to fill this side up as well. And that, for me, houses my whoopee, or your poncho liner. So the poncho liner, Ranger rolled, or at least rolled, so that it stays in your sustainment pouch. And since there's less items in there, I will usually put my spare gallon bag, spare batteries for my L flashlight, and hydration packs, as well as some other snacks that I can access later as I'm going through my ruck. So now we need to tighten these straps up. You can manhandle it and try to pull it as much as you can without a lot of force. However, all this is still kind of loose. So a method that I use, flip your ruck upside down, it stays up. You sit on this portion here because of the way that I have the ruck set up. Grab these, pull down. The second method, which is also effective, is turning the ruck on its back, placing your feet right above your sustainment pouch and your main rucksack, grabbing these two and pulling further to ensure that ruck stays high and stays in place. As you can see, we have a stable bottom from the boots. You can kind of see the boots here. And everything else is nicely condensed for that presentation. So now that you've had your rucksack fully assembled, straps tightened, the last item you want to put on is your camelback. The reason why I put on my camelback on the outside is because it's easily accessible in the case that I need to drop my ruck and grab my camelback for a particular exercise. I have seen others store their camelback up here inside the flap, and that again is a personal preference. When I store my camelback, I like to store it way up high here and actually utilize the sustainment pouches as an anchor point. So what I do is take my straps, bring it around my sustainment pouches, clip it on just like so, and remembering to keep the balance of your rucksack so that it's not moving during a ruck march. I do the same thing on the other side. As you can see here. And then essentially hold tight on both straps to ensure that camelback doesn't go anywhere. Okay, today we have gone over things to consider before packing your ruck and how to efficiently pack a balanced rucksack. I hope you all found this informational. Thank you for your time, and remember, keep your heads low, spirits high, and socks dry. This is Cadet Bay with UTSA Roadrunner Battalion. Have a great day.